Hello and welcome to the Longines Global Champions Tour here in Hamburg, leg 5 of the series. And joining me is German rider Meredith Michaels-Beerbaum. Meredith, a fantastic day for the sport.
Yeah, it's turned into a beautiful day here in Hamburg. The sun is shining. It was quite cold this morning, but looks like the weather is changing for the better.
And in terms of competition here for you as a German rider, I mean, this is a great place to compete at.
Yeah, Hamburg has a lot of tradition. This has been a show that's gone on for many, many years. It's an important show, not just to the German riders, but to all international riders. It has a lot of prestige, and it's somewhere where we all like to win.
And in terms of winning on the tour, I mean, you've come second in the overall series before now. You've been very much involved since almost the start.
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to have some success at the Global Champions Tour, originally with my great horse Shutterfly. Now I have a new string of young horses coming along, so I'm bringing them up. But I'm very pleased with how they've been doing in the last weeks, and I hope to have some success tomorrow.
Well, in terms of success, I mean, we mentioned Shutterfly in there. That was a horse of a lifetime.
Yes, absolutely. There will never be another Shutterfly. One of the greatest horses to ever live. Certainly made my career, and yeah, lots of successes and a lot of enjoyable moments I've had with him. So he will never be forgotten.
Well, one of those moments was, well, 3 times that moment was winning the Longines World Cup final as well. I mean, that was some achievement.
Yes, being a World Cup final winner just one time is a tremendous feat for any rider, and then to have won it 3 times with a great horse is something that will go down in the books of achievements and never leave my memory.
Well, also etched in the memory, I'm sure, a European Championship in Mannheim, a win on home ground individually as a German rider.
Yeah, that was also a great moment there in Mannheim. And to win a gold in front of great riders like Jos Lansing and Ludger Beerbaum standing on the podium, another amazing moment.
I mean, you mentioned Ludger in there. I mean, is your brother-in-law, whichever way you look at it, married to Marcus? What's it like being part of the Beerbaum family?
Well, it's a great honor. I mean, the Beerbaum family is a name in this sport that everybody knows, and it stands for a lot of great achievements. And to be able to ride on the team with Ludger and also with my husband, which we also did once, has been a lot of fun.
And in terms of, I mean, you originally, of course, from the United States. I mean, give us a little bit of background of your US start.
Well, I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California, and I loved horses from a young age, but I actually really never thought I would become a professional show jumping rider. So it's funny that I'm here today. I came to Europe to see the sport, to ride a little bit for one summer, and basically I never went home. Still here.
I was going to say, what changed in there that triggered the love of the sport?
I think I fell in love with the sport here. I always loved horses, but it was really the sport that was fascinating and intriguing for me when I came to Europe and saw all these great shows like Hamburg. And I thought, this is really what I want to do. This is really where I want to be, with the best in the world, competing with the best in the world. The excitement around all these great shows is just fascinating, and I chose to follow this career.
Well, we're already into the next generation of horses for you, Fibonacci that we've seen at Atlanta. Fibonacci must be something else to ride.
Yeah, Fibonacci, he's a great horse. He has a lot of characteristics that we often compare to Shutterfly. He's an extremely sensitive horse. He's sensitive to other horses in the warm-up ring, to people around him, to noises. So you have to be a bit careful with him. He's very delicate. But once he goes in the ring, his mind is on the job. He has an amazing ability, talent, scope, carefulness. And so I'm trying to mold him into another great horse for me, and it looks like he's going that direction.
And where did Fibonacci come from in the first place?
Fibonacci was born and raised in Sweden. He has a German father for pleasure and a Dutch mother, but he is technically a Swedish horse. So the Swedes are very proud of him because he is raising the Swedish flag when he's going around and doing so well.
And in terms of support, I mean, your husband Marcus, I mean, you are very much a team working together, and great to have a man like that on the floor for you?
Oh yeah, my team is so important to me, and particularly my husband Marcus. I mean, he's been an incredible support over many, many years. He's not only stood by my side, but he's also been a great father to our daughter, a great trainer, a great horseman with a wonderful eye for a good horse, helping me choose these great horses. And yeah, I couldn't ask for better.
And in terms of, you mentioned there, I mean, being a mother as well, Brianne, I mean, how hard is it to balance all of that up?
Well, it's certainly a joy, and it's definitely one of the greatest pleasures in my life, my daughter Brianne, and I love having her with me. I bring her with almost every weekend to all these shows, and she's my good luck charm and the highlight of my life, and it's just a wonderful thing to be a mother.
And in terms of, you know, your own career, I mean, you studied politics at Princeton?
Yes, I did, and in fact, I really thought one day I would go into international politics. I dreamed of being the president of the United States there for a while, which
There's
is
still
funny.
time.
Oh, we'll let Hillary do that. But no, it's interesting how I chose to follow my heart, and this is where it led me.
And do you still follow politics and still keep up with all that stuff?
You know, I keep up with it just a little bit. It still interests me, but you know, my life has changed, and this is where I want to be.
And in terms of, you know, all that you've achieved from Olympic Games, European Championships, World Cup Championships, I mean, what's still on your agenda?
I would say definitely an Olympic medal. I'm missing that. I came in fourth in the Olympics in Hong Kong, Beijing, with my great horse Shutterfly. It's just outside of the medals, so that's definitely on my agenda, and I really would like to see one of those medals.
And in terms of going forward, I mean, Fibonacci looks to be coming on well, Atlanta coming on well. What do you hope for those horses?
Oh, I think those are great horses, and I'm also bringing a string along of younger horses. I have a new horse called Comanche who's had some nice ribbons in a couple of the last Grand Prix. He hasn't been at the Global yet, but he will show up in Cannes and Monaco. I love bringing along horses, bringing them to the top of the sport, and it's just a pleasure, you know, having a string of horses.
And in terms of balancing up your life, I mean, what's it like to be sort of half American, half European?
Well, it's really a great pleasure. You know, it's a whole new dimension to my life. You know, I feel that I'm half American and half German, and I feel that support from both sides. I have a lot of family and friends in America, and it's wonderful just to have two nations sort of behind you, and I feel strongly that that's really made my life quite interesting.
You've been very balanced up with your World Cup wins, 2 wins in Vegas and 1 in Gothenburg, so you've balanced those up across Europe. But I mean, you're right, I mean, the following in Europe and the following in America, I mean, how does that, you know, that gives you twice the backing, really?
Yeah, you know, in Las Vegas I could really feel it because I had a lot of friends and family there cheering me on, and when I'm here, you know, the win in Mannheim, as you brought up, the European Championships, makes me feel so German, and it's just been really, really nice and great to have two dimensions.
And in terms of sport, I mean, how difficult was it to make that change between going from a US rider to a German rider?
Well, it seemed a very difficult decision at the time. In fact, I had to give up my American passport, and my parents were very mixed about it. But I felt like this is where I wanted to be. This is where my life was going to be. It was going to be with Marcus Beerbaum, and this is where I had the support. And like I said before, I followed my heart, and it led me that direction. And in the end, when I look back, it was definitely the right decision.
Well, absolutely. I mean, all that you've achieved within the sport, did you ever think, as you said, you nearly didn't go into the sport at all. Did you ever sort of set out on this road to go this far?
You know, I always felt like my doors were open, and I always felt like I left my doors open, and I made decisions according to my feeling and my heart, and I never felt like I was closing any doors. So I didn't feel that those decisions were so hard. I just sort of followed the path that was given to me. And I'm very pleased to have done that with my life, you know, essentially followed an untraveled path and left a trail for those to follow.
Certainly have done it. And in terms of leaving a trail, I mean, what do you think will be your legacy in the sport?
Well, I think my legacy has been to be one of the best women riders to ever live, and also to open that door for all the future women riders. I've been the only one to be #1 in the world, but then at one point we had 5 women riders in the top 10, 50%, and that was remarkable. And now you can see that women are coming up more and more in the sport. They're from all nationalities, and I feel partially responsible for paving that way.
Well, it's a wonderful legacy, and definitely within the sport, you've changed the way the sport is. Thank you for joining us, Meredith Michaels-Beerbaum. And for all of us, we'll enjoy all the action here this week for the Longines Global Champions Tour here in Hamburg.